Okay, so today we're going to cover Cluster 5B Day 8 notes. It's basically reviewing the Pythagorean theorem. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first problem states, a ladder is leaning against a house as shown below. About how high the house does the ladder reach? So basically, if the ladder is leaning against the house, how high is it reaching on the house? So the first thing I need to do is I need to identify my letter A, B, C, and D. Because if you remember, this is a right triangle. So we are going to be using the theorem A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay? And the most important one always is to identify what the letter C is, which is the hypotenuse. And there's two ways we can recognize that. That's either by knowing that it's the largest side of the right triangle, or the hypotenuse, or the letter C, is always across from the 90-degree angle. Now, for those who do not see the triangle we're talking about, I'm about to highlight the triangle that the ladder and the house make. Now for the letter C, across from the 90-degree angle is your letter C. The other two sides are A and B. So using my theorem, I'm going to plug in each letter or each number into the correct variable. So A was 9, so we're going to say 9 squared plus B squared, because we don't have a value for that, equals 27 square, because that's your hypotenuse. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to jailbreak the 9 square, and because it's a positive 9 square, it becomes a minus 9 square. So we're left with B square equals, now I'm going to go ahead and type this into my calculator, 27 square minus 9 square. And I know you don't have any yellow calculators at home, but you could go to Desmos on your laptop or tablet or phone. It really doesn't matter. But if you go to your web browser and type in desmos.com and go to start graphing, this actually can be used for just doing basic math, okay? So our problem is 27 square minus 9 square. Okay. And 27 square minus 9 square is just 648. Okay. Now I have to get rid of the square. So the opposite of a square is square root. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. These go away, and I'm left with B equals the square root of 648. So the square root symbol is all the way down here beside the pi. So if you click square root, 648. So the square root of 648 is 25.45. And of course, the question asked us about how high. So roughly, it will be 25 feet. And in this case, answer choice B. Okay, let's move on. The next question, which measurements below are lengths of the sides of a right triangle? Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to identify which of these three numbers is the letter C. Therefore, the other two will be your letter A and B. I'm going to plug them into my theorem and see which of these answer choices gives me a true statement. If it's a true statement, it equals a right triangle. If it's a false statement, not a right triangle. Okay? So let's start with number one. Clearly, I know that C is my hypotenuse, which is 39 because that's the largest side. The other two are A and B. So if I plug it into my theorem, 10 squared plus 24 squared equals 39 squared. Now, once again, I'm going to go back to my calculator, which is Desmos. And the first thing I need to do is I need to figure out what 10 squared plus 24 squared is. So 10 squared plus 24 squared gives me 676. Now I'm going to do 39 squared at the bottom on the next tab. 39 squared, and that gives me 1521. Clearly, these two values are not the same. So this is a false statement. So this is not my answer. I'm looking for the one that gives me a true statement. The next one, I'm going to go down the list. Answer choice C. I know that the letter C, or the hypotenuse, is 52, and the other two are A and B. And the reason I say that 52 is my letter C is because it's the largest side, or the largest value. So 20 squared plus 48 squared equals 52 squared. So 20 squared plus 48 squared will give me 2704. And 52 squared will give me 2704 as well. And because these two values are the same and they're equal to each other, this is a true statement. So therefore, answer choice C is the one that has the measurements that will become, or that can form, a right triangle. So my answer is C. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Number one under diagonal problems. A rectangular television screen that has a diagonal measurement of 52 inches and a width of 32 inches. What is the approximate length of the TV screen? So first I'm going to draw myself a TV screen, and they told us it was in the shape of a rectangle. They told us that the diagonal measurement is 52 inches. For those who do not know what diagonal means, it means from one corner to the next, okay? So it doesn't matter if you go from this corner to this corner, or if you go from this one to this one. I'm just gonna do this corner to that one, and that is what it's known as a diagonal. So we know the diagonal is 52. Then they told me that the width is 32. Well, it doesn't matter which side I put the width down as, okay? I'm just gonna say this is the width, 32. What is the approximate of the length? So basically, I'm looking for the other side. And for those who do not see it, there is your right triangle, right here. If you do not see the right triangle, it's right here. That is the only one I really care about, because I'm looking for the length. And so I can use that right triangle. So across from the 90-degree angle is your letter C. The other two sides can be A and B. So here we go. 32 squared plus B squared equals 52 squared. Because if you remember, the theorem says A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay. So first thing I need to do is I need to jailbreak the 32 squared to the other side. So the opposite of a positive 32 squared is a minus 32 squared. So I'm left with B squared equals, once again, use your calculator to work that out. So 52 squared minus 32 squared gives me 1680. Okay. Now the opposite of a square is square root. So the square root of 1680 will give me 40.98. 40.98. And that is roughly, or approximately, about 41 inches. So my answer will be B. Okay, let's move on. We're not going to do number 2 on the back. However, we are going to do number 1 under perimeter, okay? On page 240. Molly wants to put a fence around an area. The fence will follow the diagram of the triangle shown below. About how much fencing does Molly need? Okay, so they're basically saying that she's going to put up a fence around this piece of land. Okay, so if we start from this corner, we know we're going to need 10 feet of fence. Then if we go to the next corner, we're going to need 18 feet of fence. Now if we go from this corner to this corner, I have no idea how much fence I'm going to need for that side of the triangle. So with that being said, I'm going to use my theorem, the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to be able to figure out that missing side. So across from the 90-degree angle is your letter C. The other two sides can be your A and your B. So A is 10 squared plus b squared, because on the side of B we don't have anything, no measurement yet, equals 18 squared. So now I'm going to jailbreak the 10 squared, and it becomes minus 10 squared. So I'm left with b squared equals, go ahead and grab Desmos, and let's type that in. 18 squared minus 10 squared. And we get 224. Okay, now the opposite of a square is square root. So the square root, and remember that square root symbol is all the way down here, okay? Square root of 224. Which is 14.96. So 14.96. Okay. So I'm just going to round this to 15. So that means on this side of the triangle, I'm going to need 15 feet of fencing. And because they were asking me how much of fence I'm going to need around the whole thing, that is known as the perimeter, because we're going to have to add 10 plus 18 plus 15, okay? And that will tell me how much fence she's going to need to enclose the whole piece of land, okay? So 10 plus 18 plus 15, and I believe that gives you 43. 10, 25, 30, yep, 43, okay? Well, let me know if you have any questions about today's lessons. Talk to you soon.